yeah, and we are back. Back for another day of live streaming. Welcome to the OSINT Curious live stream. I'm Micah Hoffman, the president of OSINT Curious. This is my Facebook companion, Stephen Harris. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm really good. Hi to everyone who's joining us. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. I've been having fun all week, and I think some of the listeners have too. Some of the viewers, some of our friends out there in the internet land. For those of you that are just joining us, here's what's going to happen the next hour. My compadre and I are going to be talking about open source intelligence, geointelligence or geolocation, and many other skills that people that do open source intelligence investigations, whether it's for the hobby or whether it's for professional assessments and investigations, should be aware of. Now, is everything that we're going to talk about today something that you're going to be using right after the live stream? No, probably not. But the idea is that the more you know, the more powerful you become. All right. So we have a whole bunch of things scrolling along the bottom of this screen there. You see our website. You see that our user handle that we use on most of our social media accounts. We have the Searchlight Discord, which is a place you can come and chat with us when we're not live streaming. And if you would like to support for even as little as €1 or $1, you can support our show at the Patreon patron page down below on the screen. It really does help out. Even $1 a month is useful. And as always, please subscribe to our channels, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter Periscope, or on YouTube. Good evening to all of our fans that are out there. Let's see. Oh, Adi, are you starting already? Adi is getting in there with the Cyrillic already. Adi, I will show your webpage too. We'll start out with that for Geoguessr just to share it out there. Matthew, welcome. Robert, Purple. If you are out there in one of the different platforms and you're hearing our voices, go ahead and put something in the comments or the chat field. Let us know you're out there. Because this is a live stream. It's not something where it's just like a webcast. Hey, Subtruth helped us out a lot yesterday helped me out a lot yesterday on the Geoguessr. Stephen, yesterday we had the Geoguessr and there were 3 huge pyramids. And I was like, this is perfect, right? Right. Yeah. So it took me It took me 2 minutes and 59 seconds to figure out where pyramids are in Egypt because I just didn't do that. Didn't learn it. Now I know it. Awesome. So, Stephen, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play our Geoguessr daily challenge, as always. And then what we're going to be doing is the last half of the show, I'm going to turn this over to you. And what are you going to be sharing with the group here?
Well, so far this week, we've been looking at the developer console in a web browser and how we can see all the different bits and pieces that go together to make a website work. And we're going to stay with Geoguessr and look at how Geoguessr is put together and how it accesses Google's API. And if you don't know what an API is, you will know by the end of the show. And we will see how the answer to some of our Geoguessr challenges is already hidden in our browser. We just need to find it. Some people misuse that. That is not what we're showing you how to do. We are going to show you how you can find things in your browser that you might not be aware of that will help you when you're doing other kinds of OSINT work.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to that. I think your distinction there about the ethics of what you're going to be showing is very important, that we're not trying to teach you how to cheat a Geoguessr. I mean, what's the point? You get 25,000 points. Yay, internet points.
Actually, I was taken aback doing my research. There is a huge Geoguessr community that's grown up in the last year or so. And there are celebrity YouTuber Geoguessrs who've been accused of cheating. And then there's always been these huge dramas and people confessing on Reddit, yeah, I cheated, guys, I'm sorry. It is a bigger issue than I thought 24 hours ago. But
and today you learn how to do it yourself.
And here I am. Don't people have digital doping? No, that's not what we're here for. We are here to show you how to get the most of what's hidden in your web browser.
Yeah, and honestly, yesterday you weren't here, and what I did is I showed about user agents, and then we played around with the Instagram API, and I showed that if you request a certain URL with a Instagram ID in it, that ID, that URL, when it heads over to Instagram, will be denied with an error of user agent mismatch. And when we change our user agent, we can then get that API to work. Again, it's not that we're teaching people how to, circumvent any type of security or anything like that. It's just if you understand how things work, then you can make those error messages go away and get the data you need. Cool. All right. So yeah, hey, Chris is here, Ryan's here. Yeah, Ryan, today's the day we're going to teach you how to get that, we're not going to teach you how to get 25,000 points. We're going to teach you how other people do it. That'll be the distinction. All right. Couple of really quick rules here for our Geoguessr, as many of you already know. One, if you've already done the daily challenge for today in Geoguessr, please wait till we're done answering and then tell us how you did it. Two, no Googling, DuckDuckGoing, Binging, Yandexing, no using search engines to look up anything that you see in the live stream here. And then three, please, when you put into the chat where you think things are, give us directions, give us the reasons. Oh, look, I saw a flag for Ukraine. That's got to be Ukraine or whatever. Tell us why. Don't just tell us what you see. All right. All right. Here we go. Oh, and before we do that, one of the things, before we do that, I wanted to bring up something that Adi shared with me a while ago, and I really hadn't looked at. I apologize, Adi, one of our wonderful viewers here. This is something that we've had constant challenges with here. I've had constant challenges. Many of our audience has not. This is identifying the Cyrillic alphabets in Slavic languages. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm not going to read it or anything. I will paste this into our chat. It is definitely very useful, Chris. And it shows you the different languages. And then at the very bottom, I'm just going to zoom all the way down there. We have this handy dandy chart that tells you the different languages and what are those unique elements in them. So if you are looking at some Cyrillic or you're looking at some of those Eastern European languages, this chart and a chart over here on this page, another URL. This page also has different languages, and they tell you what letters are unique. And this one has a different way of showing those. So it shows these characters here are being used by 3 different languages, etc. And these over here are just Ukrainian. So again, we're not going to use this in the game, but this is definitely something I'm going to be studying in the weeks to come so that I can get better at recognizing these languages. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Flibble, share those links with us. Love to learn about those things. All right, I'm going to close these so I'm not tempted to go over there and look at them. Here's our daily challenge. Yesterday, without you, I did significantly worse. We still got silver, thanks to our wonderful audience, but we did not get gold. So I'm looking to get gold.
We got to get gold today.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Daily challenge number 1. I'm going to make this full screen and hit the developer. Here we go. First round. Here we go. So we are in
somewhere hot.
In a bush. We are on a trail.
Oh, no.
We're at the end of a trail. What the heck is this? Okay, so we're in a trekker. Oh my gosh. There's so mountains. It looks to be water, maybe an ocean. I see waves over there.
Okay.
What the heck is this? All right, let's turn around and see if we can move somewhere. That says stop.
That says stop. So English language at least.
Okay. All right, now we're moving. Through the bushes? What is this?
Cactus.
Yes. Okay, so we have cactus. We have let's see. Let's look at the races of these people. That might help.
Caucasian people.
Yeah, Caucasian could be South America. Where does cactus grow? I mean, I know in
I would think
the
like Mexico and maybe the southern USA, I
yeah.
would guess. But
All right, so but this is on the coast. This is
that's on
literally
the coast.
on the coast. We have mountains over there. Oh man, let's see. This is crazy.
This is hard.
Okay, so what type of cactus is this? Prickly pear? Something like that? That grow. Somebody says Texas. There, I don't think that this is Texas. This is just to
Mexico.
I could see Galapagos. Adi says, I don't think so, buddy. I just don't picture it. Australia. Okay, well,
Also,
we
yeah,
have that word "stop," which would tell me that
Yeah.
it's probably an English-speaking country, right? And I feel like I'm just going in circles. This is like the worst video game ever. Mexico or Costa Rica? Yeah, I think I'm just guessing here. All right, so we've got cactus. We've got some pretty big mountains. We've got a deserty like area, and we got the waves of a coast. Gosh, I'm thinking that this is going to be somewhere in South America. It just feels like it, but
well, it doesn't seem like Asia. It's obviously not Europe. Doesn't seem like Africa. So
you want to say like over here, maybe?
yeah, kind of.
You're not. All right, we're gonna go Northern California, Northern Mexico. Let's just see. Oh, it was what?
What?
Where the heck is this? This is a
It
first.
was the Galapagos Islands.
Santo Thomas.
Oh man,
What? I call foul. Now, this is Geoguessr getting back at us because of what we're going to do the last half of the thing.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not even.
That
That's just wrong. Okay, I'm not even. Okay, we're not even going to sweat that. All right, let's go on to the next round. Wait, hang on. Let's just see. Did anybody? Yeah, Ryan, we got to get back to the plant species. Let's see. You go all okay. Horde says this was doable because you could go all the way down to the wall and there was a sign giving you the island. Yeah, that's tough. All right, I'm not going to sweat it. Here we go. Next round. We're just going to pretend like that didn't even.
Yeah.
All right, we have agriculture. We have a kind of northernish trees, would you say?
Yep. I would say kind of Northern Europe, maybe.
Yeah, Scandinavia, maybe?
Or yeah, Scandinavia, maybe even possibly Canada. I don't know.
Okay. Let's see if we can get some language here. There's a red thing up here on the left. I think these are just numbers.
Number
So
3.
these boxes, I think, are going to be Eastern European.
Yeah, I don't recognize them. So, and I don't know Eastern Europe that well. I don't know.
Okay.
The houses look kind of Eastern European or Scandinavian.
Yep. All right, we're going to go down this way. We've got power lines. Let's see if this is maybe a building. Let's see. There's some power lines. I can't tell if we're on the right or left side of the road. I don't see any signs.
No signs yet.
Oh, a flagpole, maybe? Flagpole. And nothing is flying.
And they've hidden all their cars, so we can't even tell what kind
Exactly.
of
So we have no. This is definitely Geoguessr messing with us. It's like no license plates, no words.
Shout for Finland.
Foliage.
That might not be a bad shout.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Adi and Detective Belland. It definitely looks Finland, Norwegian-ish. Let's just see if we can get something right here. There's a bike path. It looked like there was a sign for. Ooh, let's see if we can go down that road. No, we can't. And we're not going to be able to zoom in there. Golly, gosh darn. I would say there's some mountains up here. I don't know, man. Should we go the other way real quick?
Yeah, people seem to do that when we go the wrong way. You always get someone who says, I went the other way and I found the town name.
Wait, which was the other way?
I
think this way, right?
That way, yeah. Towards.
All right, we have a minute left. Let's just see what we got. Now, this is probably the worst way. Yeah, I think we're going to start having to look at like foliage and stuff. All right, so we have some kind of mailbox there. Looks like Norwegian. Hey, Zevin.
Zevin says Norwegian. Right. And Zevin's from that part of the world, I think. So
yes, from Norwegia.
I'm trying to go with local knowledge.
All right. Oh, there's a sign up here. Let's see what it says. Nope, that's just a post
Post
box.
box.
All right, we're gonna go with Finland. You want to do Finland, Norway, or Sweden? I don't think Sweden.
Sweden, because it's in the middle. So just like
So it is north. Let's go up here. Just hedge our bets.
Yeah.
See what happens. It was Finland. It was Finland. Should have listened to you.
Not bad though.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's just keep going here. Oh, yeah. Right, exactly, Ryan. Next time we see the red post boxes, we're going to know where we are. Finland. All right. Okay, now we're better. What flag is this?
Is it Lithuania? I think I've seen that before in Geoguessr.
All right. Where's our flag? The street signs ending in T help you know it was Finland. Okay. I didn't see any street signs on that last one. Oh, no. We've got another one, and this one has Biblioteca. Flag of Lithuania, Adi says. Oh, but Mineral Board says Bulgaria.
Now, Bulgaria has Slavic.
Well, let's look at the license plates, because here we've got a little bit of blue. That's kind of EU-ish, right?
Yep.
All right. And there's another one of those flags. All right. Maybe we'll go down here to the city center and see if we can see something like a sign saying you are here. Let's see. Cobble suggests an older part of the city in Lithuania. Everybody's saying Lithuania. Yeah, it's yellow, not white, so it's Lithuania. Okay, cool. Now, older town, like a town square. So let's figure out where we are in Lithuania. I'm willing to go with what the audience says, because I do not have that expertise. It's kind of a town square-ish area here.
There's some big buildings in the distance.
Yep. Oh, maybe this will say something.
Right, there's the EU flag. So does it say what?
Let's see. Yeah, definitely EU. Is that the name of the town, Macantau? Klapidos?
It's kind of like a town logo, I guess.
Here.
Ipeda or Matthias Cantos, just
let's just see. Macantau, do you know if that is a town?
There it is.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's this one right here. All right.
We found like the town, the center of
the town square. I didn't see
water. Up a little bit where I just like where all the streets are closer together tends
to be here,
and then down and left a little where everything sort of converges,
like right around there or something.
I'll guess near.
There was a big loop here, right? There was a
kind of
maybe we can find something here. Like, well, that looks train
railway.
Yeah. All right, we're running out of time. I'm willing to just put it. Yeah, we'll just try it there and see. Not by the water. Okay, here we go. We're gonna just do that.
We're gonna be pretty close, I think.
Hey, there you go. That was pretty good. Let's just see if we can see the loop. No, we didn't see that.
How strange.
I guess they redid that. Nice. Well done, everybody. So we had Lithuanian flag. Many of you saw that. And then with that, we went over to the sign, and thank you to Macantau for identifying the city there. I mean, they were just words to me, but Macantau noticed the city. So well done.
Yeah, that's cool. Like.
Good going, everybody. Redemption. All right. So we have a pretty painted house there. Let's see. Want to go down that way?
Yeah, let's do that.
Here's some crosses and an altar. Looks like maybe somebody had an accident here, and
so to me, it's like more Catholic or Orthodox rather than Protestant thing. So I think more likely to be Eastern Europe.
Okay, and I'm looking at the building materials too. We are definitely out in the country. We've got sheet metal, wood barns, like log barns, but they have a whole bunch of infrastructure here for the power lines. Let's see what these signs say over here. Let's turn around. These definitely feels like Europe or Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, here's the C with a thing on top of it. Hang on, let's just see if we can go backwards a little bit. All right, so this one says MAC, and let's go back a little bit more. Something 0.5, so kilometers. Roman vibe, possibly Ukraine or Belarus. Let's see if we can go to the other side here and get a different sign. It looks like we got another bus stop. All right, but we've got agriculture. We're definitely driving on the right-hand side of the road. There we go. We got 0.5 miles.
Romania.
Yeah, there we go, Mundo. That has one of those upside-down carrots on it over the sea. I don't know. Macedonia? Could be. I mean,
my gut was Romania.
Romania. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, let's just see. The sea is not Romanian, Mineral Bay says. All right. So you want to look and see Macedonia, North Macedonia. Let's just see. Romania or Moldova. Somebody says
they have the Cyrillic thing going on.
Yeah, here they have Cyrillic in Macedonia. Let's say Moldova. We've got 42 seconds.
Romania. Yeah, Matthias has suggested Romania or Moldavia.
You know, we're just going to probably like go right here in the middle and see what we got, because we got 28 seconds.
We're never going to find the village, are we? It's so tiny.
Wait, well, you know, I'm going to put it in the middle of Romania. Let's see. Poland. I'm not thinking. All right, here we go. And we are talking Belarus.
Belarus, of course.
I didn't see anybody say Belarus. Somebody said Balkans. Okay.
Oh, yeah. La Bella.
Oh, wait. La Bella.
Belarus.
But La Bella, you got to tell me how or why you think Belarus. Darn it. All right. Listen to La Bella. Listen to the Bella. Listen to the Bella. All right. This has been an all over the place. Okay. The Coran on the sea. The Coran is the upside down, the upside down track. All right. Well, let's see. Is this our last round? Yeah, it is. All right. We are in a city. Is this Dubai again?
This is
the Burj?
This is the same place to within a few hundred meters that we were a couple of days ago.
That's the Burj Khalifa, right?
Yeah.
This time I think I almost know how to get there. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the Burj. All right. So this is one that we've seen before. I just have to find it again. All right. Help me out here if you see. I think I have to zoom in a little bit. What's that?
Where's John Marquis? He was like guiding us there.
There it is. Yep. All right. So we are on the water. Let's just see. We're on the water looking. So there's the end of the water. We're coming around. And then we have the loops over there. So let's just see what we got. So we are on the water. I would say we're probably like right here.
Yeah, maybe even to the right a little bit more. I think,
right?
Yeah, just we're splitting hairs now, but yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's just see if we. I mean, I'm trying for 5,000 on this one. I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. I'll show you 5,000.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right. So we're gonna try right there.
Yeah.
Let's just see.
Let's see.
5,000 points. Yes. All right. 43 meters away. So how do we know that? Well, we had that earlier in the week, the Burj Khalifa, and everybody's like, it's the Burj. I'm like, what the heck's a Burj? But yeah, you all were awesome. We know where this is. This is in Dubai, over in the UAE. I am, 5,000 points the right way, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and see our poor summary here. This first one was that was super hard. What did we get?
Do we even get bronze? Is there a level below bronze?
We actually got silver.
Okay.
Which is impressive, given that we had two that basically had no basically no points at all. So that's great. Yay for us. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And for those of you that are normal people that are on here, we usually use the geotips.net site, but I think today I just wanted to kind of plow through this so we can give Stephen all the time that he needs. All right, let's see. Just want to call out a couple of things in the chat here. For those of you, for those of you that don't know, we are live streaming on 3 different platforms: Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. So if somebody is sending comments in on one, you're not going to see it on another platform. So I wanted to see, just highlight a couple of things here. Let's see. So Horg says, here you go. A tip for Lithuania is the towns ending in IAI. Nice. Very helpful.
That is worth knowing.
Yeah. Cool. I feel like at the end with the Berg, they're like, all right, we really screwed them on the first thing.
It was a sympathy question, wasn't it? Like, oh, they're struggling. Let's throw them an easy one.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my friend. So we promised you all that we would we'd go into a little bit more about the web developer tools. On Monday, Stephen and I showed you some of the web developer tools in your Firefox, Chrome, and other browsers. We showed you what you can do with them. And then yesterday, I showed you even more how we can emulate different devices by changing our user agent, changing the resolution inside of our browsers, and why you should care about user agents. Those are on our YouTube site and on Twitch, recorded if you want to see them. Now, our buddy Stephen here is going to go ahead and share his screen, and then we're going to see how we can do. Let's see. There you go.
Okay. Right. So first of all, is that an okay writing size for everybody? Yeah, I know everyone's looking on different screens and things like that.
Yeah. Looks good to me.
So this last week, we've been looking in this part of your web browser, which is the developer tools. And that lets us see all the things that are going on behind the scenes when we visit a web page. So we can see how the images are loaded, how all the little scripts, the JavaScripts are loaded, and we can see some of the requests that the browser makes to databases to bring back the data that we need to make the applications work. So I'm going to stick with Geoguessr because it's a really good but simple example of how this works. But instead of doing the daily challenge, I'm going to do Explorer mode. And the reason for that is if I do the daily challenge, I only get 3 minutes before it times out. And it will probably take, I do want to be doing this against the clock. So we're going to go in Explorer mode.
Although maybe we'll do that for round 2 of this. You'll show it here and then you'll get a perfect score.
And then, yeah. So all those people that you see who got 5,000 on every question, this is how they do it. But the takeaway from this is not, oh, now I can cheat at Geoguessr. The takeaway skill from this is that you will now be able to use the developer tools to dig and find information when you're investigating a website that you might not find otherwise. So let's pick a country. Do you want to choose a country, Micah? We can choose anywhere that's brown to do our Explorer.
There's a small island off the west coast of South America that I just learned. Now, let's go with something. How about South Africa?
Let's go to South Africa. Okay. Okay. So let me clear this. So just to show you what I've got here, this is the developer mode, which you can open in your browser. We've already looked at it the last couple of nights, but the main sort of tab I'm going to be looking at is the network tab. And what the network tab shows is every single request from our web browser to the Geoguessr site and any other requests that Geoguessr makes to other resources. One thing that's worth knowing is these are ordered by the most recent one first. And even when I move to a different page, this will keep on adding up and it can get a bit complicated. So if we have too much information in here, which we have at the moment, we can click here on the little bin icon or the trash can icon, and that will clear it and we'll be able to see what we're doing.
Now, Stephen, you are using Firefox right now, right?
I am using Firefox, yeah.
Okay. So if people are using their Firefox, you'll be able to follow along with what Stephen's doing. Chrome, same type of features, just a little different interface. So don't feel like this is only Firefox.
Yeah, absolutely. This works on any browser. Okay. The only real difference with Chrome is that instead of being at the bottom here, it's on the right-hand side of your screen. But yeah, all the features and the tool are basically the same. Okay. So we'll start this. We'll have a look at South Africa. Do single player. So there's no time limit, so I'm not rushing to do this against the clock. And you see what happened there as I visited the web page, we've got maybe 20 or 30 different requests appeared in the browser. So these are all the different parts of the GeoGuessr website that are coming together to make the quiz. So
now I noticed that you are filtering content according to
I am,
JavaScript
yeah,
and XHR, right?
yeah. So
Okay.
that's just to make it a bit smaller, but you can see you get all the HTML and the CSS which define how it looks, and the JavaScript which defines how it behaves. For this, I'm just going to tidy it a little bit. If I know, look, I'll tell you what we'll do. We will leave it all on for now, and then I'll filter it out later.
Okay.
So I said the most recent requests are first, and you can see. In fact, let me close this here so you don't. Now, GeoGuessr doesn't really hold much information by itself. All the information we see in the browser that actually makes the game work comes from Google Street View. And how GeoGuessr gets that information from Google Street View into its own app is through what we call an API. An API is a word, you've probably heard it a lot if it's thrown around quite a lot in OSINT. All an API is a way of getting data from server A to server B. It's where passing information from one point to another. So GeoGuessr want to make a program that is based on Google Street View. And to get that information, they just send a request. They don't store it themselves. They send a request to the Google Maps API. They say, we want this data. And then Google says, here you go, and sends it back. And the way that is done through what they call an API. So that is all an API is. But we said at the very start of our webcast this evening that the answer to this quiz is already in your browser. So we're going to look how to find it. I think, well, how do we know that? Because if you think about it, we've been dumped here at a random point in South Africa. I have no idea where it is. But in order for the Street View data to appear in this spot, the computer or the browser has to already know where that spot is. It has to be told you need to be at these coordinates and you need to open up Street View here in order for us to play the game. So if we can look through our requests, we can see the GPS coordinates that were sent to Google's API and when GeoGuessr requested it. So if we can find that, we can find the answer to the quiz. That's how it works.
And
so
all the data has already been sent to your web browser.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's just hidden from you, the user. And all you're doing is examining how the game works with data already in your browser.
Yeah. So we're not bypassing anything. We're not hacking anything. We are just looking at everything that we've got in our browser rather than just a small percentage of it. So these are all the requests, and the one we're going to look for. Remember, these go in order. So this was the first request I sent here. And then we've got one request to the maps.googleapis.com. That was the first API request. And there's quite a few. And there's this one. In fact, I'm going to filter this. So we just want JavaScript and XHR. Now, the two...
So what is the JavaScript in XHR? What are those things?
I forget what XHR stands for.
XML, HTTP. Right?
Yeah. So these are... So all the other stuff like HTML, CSS, fonts, images are to do with like the cosmetic things you see in your browser, like the actual images that go together to make up the Street View image or the images that make up the map. The JavaScript and the XHR actually control how that data is handled, how it actually presents to you, and it's kind of the actual raw data itself is in there. So we can filter. We don't need the HTML or the CSS or anything else. We just want the JavaScript and the XHR.
Okay.
So we've got one API request here to Google, and you can see it starts the file. It actually gets back as a JavaScript file, and it's called. It starts this line geo photo service, and it goes on, and you can see it here on the right hand side. This is all encoded, and it's hard to read, but the answer is actually in there. And we don't need to open this in another browser tab. In fact, if you try, like some of the things we looked at on Monday, if you try to open this in a browser tab, your browser won't actually handle it very well. But there is a tool within the developer mode that will let us take all this apart and look at it in more detail. Cool. So we choose this little URL here, right click, and we can say open in Debugger. which you can see here. This is the debugger, which is another one of the little tools in developer mode. And it lets us take apart line by line every little bit of JavaScript, every little bit of information that's come back to our browser. But you see here, it's really, 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 really long, and that's kind of hard to read.
So that encoded content that we saw on the other tab with all the exclamation points and stuff, once you look in the debugger, the application, the JavaScript in your computer or in your browser, it goes ahead and decodes that data, and that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So that's what we're seeing, albeit it is still very hard to read. But the browser tools help us out here. They have what we call a pretty print, which basically makes it easier for people to read. Nice. See that it's still just random numbers and letters and things like that, but we're easy to read it. So this is the information that Geoguessr requested from the Google Maps API in order to make the quiz that we can see up here. So if we scroll through it and we see the first bit of sort of human readable language we see here says Geoguessr, Eastern Cape. So that's a physical place. EN, which is obviously English language. I don't know if that comes from my browser actually, or if that's the local language. I don't know. And then we get this tag here, copyright 2021 Google. And that's important because immediately after this copyright 2021 Google tag, we get this information here. Can anyone guess what this information could be?
Call me.
These are the coordinates that Geoguessr sent to Google saying, open up Street View at this location. So that was already there in our browser. So we're now going to take that information out. We're going to throw it into Google and see where this is. That is it. This is, I mean, if you're familiar with GPS coordinates, the longer they are, the more precise they are. So this is going to be really, really accurate to within a meter or so.
Don't you need the minus sign?
Oh yeah, I do need the minus sign. Otherwise, we will end up
in another part of the world,
the wrong side of the
hemisphere.
Okay, right. So just throw up a browser tab, and I will just put the raw copy and paste into Google. It should hopefully figure out it's figured out that these are mapping coordinates. So we can click on maps.
Yeah, Chris points out in the chat that the negative value indicates what hemisphere, north or east value. So it's something that you definitely need.
Yeah, absolutely. So so if you want to end up in the right hemisphere, so all I've done now is I opened that search result up on maps, and you see his address here, M9 South End Geoguessr, I think that's pronounced. But you see there, we saw here M9 Geoguessr Eastern Cape. So there's already some information there. So now we're going to try and verify what we've found and click on the little red dot with Street View. So if I turn around here and magic, we're awesome now.
Wait, go back to the other tab.
Wow.
It's the same thing.
It's the same place. It's the exact same spot.
Very nice. So now you know exactly where it is on the Google map, and now you can just put this in the Geoguessr by choosing that location.
Yeah, basically. I did go on. What's that? Sorry.
Is there another way? Or to get the 5,000 points, you just zoom in and then click?
Yeah, I did have a look. I did wonder if there is some way when you submit your answer, can you modify the URL and insert the coordinates there? I couldn't actually find a way to do that. I think it's all done client side in the JavaScript itself. Yeah. I've even looked at some people who have written sort of exploits to do this, and they still just did what I did there. Basically, they couldn't submit the answer automatically as well.
It's easy enough. And
it's easy enough
at that level where you're writing your own JavaScript to take advantage of it. It's
if you are writing tools to get maximum points on there, like you need to reevaluate your life.
Yeah, exactly.
we don't recommend that.
So can you go ahead and find it on the map there, and then
so let's just go back to the map. I would. It's a bit tricky with the way I'm sharing my screen. Ideally, I would split my screen in half and do half and half, but we'll do it this way.
All right. So that's an easy place right there. Yeah.
Of the Cape. So Oh, there is. There's Geoguessr.
Yep.
There we
And
are.
zoom in.
And then we were
look at the water feature. It's right there below those.
Oh, yeah, it's right by the
Yeah.
harbor, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Diego. Hey, Labella.
And then we were down here. It was the M9. Yeah, it's M9, wasn't it?
Yep. It's on the M9.
M9 South End. So
Yep.
we were about here, weren't we?
Well, I don't know about that. So there's that road there starting with an M that kind of loops around.
Mitchell Street.
Let's see where that is.
Yeah,
we're just south of that, or just west of that. Yep.
So there's Pierce Street and Mitchell Street, and we were kind of in the middle. So there's Mitchell Street and Pierce Street. So we are about here, I would guess.
Let's see.
Let's guess.
5,
there we go.
Oh, you were 11 yards from the location.
11 yards. Okay.
Good.
Slap on the
better. So one of the things that Nix and I were talking about in the beginning of the show is that while we're doing this on Geoguessr to show you how people cheat, this is actually really useful for advanced endpoint identification. If you're looking at some website, some new emerging social media platform, instead of just using the application in your browser like a normal user, you could be watching in the developer tools for things like Steven's showing you here. You go to the network tab, you filter by XHRs or JavaScript, you look for the MIME type of JSON. Steven, can you switch back to network? And then, and close that right pane. There you go. You could look for JSON, or you can just go ahead and there's some JSONs in there. These are things that are going to show you the JSON content and allow you to get and figure out what the application is sending back and forth. And this is how some of those wonderful tools that we use to get access to Instagram, to get access to Twitter, to get access to these other social media platforms. This is how people discover, hey, did you know if you do this, you can see that by looking in the browser. And I have a good example of why we do this. Can you in your browser just go to, in that same browser, just in the browser tab, go to Start Me page. So go to osintframework.de.
Okay, OSINT.
No, just OSINT. Yeah, osintframework.de.
Framework. I think we've established that I can't type on camera.
That's all right.
Okay.
All right, so this is an OSINT. This is a Start Me page. Now, what I want to show you is if you scroll down and scroll up in the bottom part, you see that one of them is got the third one from the bottom. It's start.me and then ZME8. Yeah, you see at the top of the screen where the URL is ZME8NR. That JSON file matches it. And if you go over to the response and you scroll down, this is where all of the links to this page are located. So if you keep scrolling down, we've got Bruno Mortier, we've got his owner number, we have other metadata about him, and then we have every single link on that page in an easy to access method. So we're still looking at the page content. We're just looking at it differently. And in some cases, this is much more easy to access. Stephen, if you right click on the left-hand pane on the ZME8 and do the copy URL.
Yeah, and do you want that in a new tab?
Yeah, and just paste it in a new tab. And that'll show the JSON. There you go. And there's all the JSON. And
didn't you had a claim to fame with this, didn't you? It used to leak people's emails.
I screwed it up. The user's email address that they used to sign up for the Start Me account used to appear in this data until I blabbed about it publicly. I learned my lesson, sorry. And Start Me's like, hey, we'll fix that. And good on them for doing so as well. But all of this data is right there. And the more you get used to just clicking and being curious, the more things you're going to discover, the more access to the data. Cool.
Awesome.
So how about if I take the screen share back here?
Yep.
Thanks,
you
Steve.
should. There we go.
One of the other things that people were asking about were things like Firefox MultiAccount Containers. Um, let's see. Hang on. There's a couple of things here. I wonder how many locations you'd have to guess perfectly before is banned and the JSON goes to true. Daniel, yeah, that hey, these things happen. If they detect that you're cheating or somehow, then they will take action. Let's see. So Ani has a question here. Would a device location be recorded and discoverable from posts using this? From social media posts. So I think Adi, if what you mean is if we go to somebody's Twitter page and we look at pull up a tweet, are we going to see some extra data or something else there being sent to and from our browser? Sometimes, but usually, I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes it's just in the page source code. For instance, here I can show you an example. And really, one of my biggest suggestions is people get curious. So I think I've shown this to people before. Hang on, activities slash. Oh, that's not going to work. Hang on. Let me just do that again. New window, strava.com/activities/100,000. Oops. All right, hang on. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to pull up an activity here. This is something, Adi, this is, I think, kind of what you're getting at. Here, we're just pulling up some random person's activities on Strava. Strava is well known for not protecting these activities, and so we see this person's bicycle route here. Now, for us, my browser takes all of the data in the page and makes things very pretty. I have this nice Google map that I can zoom in on. But Adi, to your point, if I F12 this, I'll accept all the cookies. Sure. I'm going to delete them later. If I F12 this and then go over to the network, and I'm going to shift reload this page and look here, we see the map box. These are requests to get that map box right here and to populate the information. We also have a token key. But if I just look at all or go over to inspector, I can pull out, well, let's even just go more simply. Let's just look at the page source code. Find, what's this person's name? Let's do 43.6. So here we have in the source code of the page, which I'll make bigger, we have the details, everything from the person's name and the bicycle ride to, let's see, if we scroll down, here we have this section with a lot of quotes in it and stuff. See this ampersand quote, body, type, raw token. In fact, if we keep going to the right, see all these numbers? These numbers are some of the things that help build that map. And in fact, if I keep going to the right, hang on, we should see these types of numbers. Can anybody tell me what these numbers look like? Yeah, these are the latitudes and longitudes that make up that route that this person took. So sometimes if we just look in the page source code and look through it critically and are able to recognize some of the hashing type of algorithms, the encoding algorithms, and just some things like latitudes and longitudes in a list, we can pull out this stuff and then do whatever we want. I mean, we use it in our investigations. So yeah, there's hidden stuff out there that you absolutely should collect. And it's there in plain sight if you just get curious and either F12 and then look at the inspector and search for things like 43 points. Here, if we just did that and a negative, I don't even know if that'll work. Yeah, okay. You're deleting your Strava now. Yeah. Oh, we could do so much more with Strava, Adi. But let's go ahead and shift to a question that I believe David had on Firefox Containers. For those of you that don't know, so we are over doing OSINT Curious stuff in the Searchlight Discord. And if you have questions or whatever, we sometimes will say, hey, let's answer them on the air. So one of the questions that was asked was, what are these Firefox containers? Why do they matter? How can they protect my operational security? And I'll show you. In the Firefox browser, we have this little button. This is for the multi-account containers. Now, think of a container as something that segments different pieces of data. All right, so here I'll show you. I'm logged into Geoguessr, and you can see I'm in the OSINT curious profile. Well, what these containers do is they isolate your cookies. They isolate those site settings so that if I was to go to a new container like work, you see it's got an orange tab up at the top. It says work over here. And if I go to this exact same URL, it's not going to have me logged in because the daily challenge Geoguessr tab over here is in a different container than the work one that I'm in over here. Now, so what, you say? Well, think about this. How many of you sometimes like to, in your investigation platform or analyst platform, like to look at tweets on Twitter, and sometimes you need to use your sock puppet and sometimes you don't want to use your sock puppet? Well, previously you had to open one in an unauthenticated browser and one in an authenticated browser. But now you can authenticate in one multi-account container with your Twitter account, and then you open up another multi-account container and now you're unauthenticated. So you can see multiple perspectives of the same data. And yes, you can manage these containers. We can add new ones. We can shift them around, which is really nice. So you might have it for SOC Profile 1, SOC Profile 2, SOC Profile 3, or whatever you want. It is only in Firefox, and it is something that not everything is isolated from there, but it can definitely protect your privacy. Personally, I don't know about you, Nix, but personally, on my desktops and laptops and stuff, I'm using Firefox multi-account containers to isolate those websites that might have healthcare data or banking data or social media data. So, and I actually have my own container for just the Facebook and the Instagram.
Yes, and for shopping sites as well, because they are the worst for tracking and following you around. So yeah, if I need to do my shopping, I'll do that in a container.
Yep, exactly. And that way, when you do your Google searches for one thing in one multi-account container, the other sites that you're logged into don't get that data that, hey, Micah just searched for this over there. This comes into play a lot when we're doing OSINT investigations, because some of the things that we're searching for are pretty sensitive and you don't want them to bleed over. Thank you, Flibble. Appreciate the shout out here. Flibble666 says session box / multi-login Chrome extensions do mostly the same things. Cool. So Subtruth asks a question here. Nick, do you want to take this or you want me to take it? Multi-account containers versus Firefox profiles. Which would you do, or would you do them both?
I would say it depends on how long I'm keeping a sock puppet for or what I'm doing. Generally, I do one virtual machine with one sock puppet and keep everything separated that way. So it depends on your use case, I guess.
Yeah, and for me, it would even go deeper. You know, sometimes when I'm using my sock puppets, I want the browser to be dirty. I want Facebook to track what this user is doing to make my browser look normal. If I've isolated everything, then Facebook and other sites that should have data on this user logging in from that browser and doing these things, they don't have that, and it can make your sock puppet look more suspicious. So sometimes I will go into a whole new profile in Firefox or Chrome and just not use containers. But me personally, me professionally, I absolutely am using those containers. It also is helpful because you can log into an account in a container, close that container, do other things, open that container, and if it's remembered you're still logged in, but it hasn't been, other things don't have access to the site while you're doing it. Cool. All right. So, oh, okay. So Omundo asked us to do an episode on using open source freedom of information requests, so FOIA requests here in the United States. I would imagine in other countries. Do you have that, Stephen?
We do, yeah. In fact, Amundo has mentioned a website there, whatdotheyknow.com, which basically, when the Freedom of Information Act came in the UK, the government set up a website which made it easy to apply to the public body, and all the correspondence is public. So if you want to know, like, how much money did he spend on, I don't know, sandwiches for senior police officers this year, like, you can put that request in and someone has to come back to you within so many days or so many weeks, and you can read it all. It's all public. Does attract some obsessive people. Yeah. there are some really useful nuggets of information there, definitely.
All right. Cool. So, all right. Well, we'll consider that. Also, for those of you that are watching now, if you do want to submit some topics for us, either come on over to the Searchlight Discord, which has been scrolling across the screen for the last bunch of minutes. Come on over to the Searchlight Discord, have some discussions with us. Tell us what you're interested in learning, and we'll see if we can put it on the air. There's some stuff that we're just not going to do due to sensitive nature of the things, or maybe we just don't want to do it. So I apologize there if we're not going to cover every single thing, or we might not have the knowledge. I mean, if you ask me to do some cryptocurrency investigations, I just honestly don't know cryptocurrency analysis or financial type of investigations like that well enough to teach it. So, but the OSINT Curious feedback form right there is something that you can use to submit your blog posts and your other topics for us to cover. One last thing before we say goodbye, our next week of live streams is coming up next month, on the 19th through the 23rd of July at 1800 hours. Please join us, put it on your agenda or calendar or other thing that will help you remember, because we're going to be doing this again. And then I think in August, I know a lot of people take holiday. I think in August we'll maybe mix up the time a little bit, since I can't count on all you European and UK people, because you'll be out traversing the world.
We will all be on the beach.
You'll all be on the same beach.
The same beach, because we can't. We're not allowed to go abroad. Yeah.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll shift the time a little bit so that it's easier for people on the West Coast of the United States and over in Asia and India to join us. Awesome. Stephen Harris, we are at the end of the show here, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me and for being on here and for showing us how to get a perfect store. I mean, showing us how people cheat in the tool in the Geoguessr game.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. And it goes so fast as well. It really it just flies. Yeah.
Definitely. And thanks for helping me get such a good score. I would love to thank our audience out there. If I didn't read off your name today, come back tomorrow, come back on Friday. Now, Fridays are always our special show when I do these live week-long live streams. Friday, what we're going to be doing is doing the daily challenge in Geoguessr. And then instead of teaching skills, what we're going to do is we're going to do country streak. And what that is instead of guessing the precise location where we might be placed, what we're going to do is we just have to guess the country where we are in. And we have a pretty good streak going on. Last month, I screwed up and I clicked on Sweden instead of Norway. I will never forget.
I think it was fatigue, wasn't it? It's like an endurance event, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. We had 19 in a row, and I was like, "Oh, this is easy." Sweden, no. So it was pretty bad. Now I apologize, everybody. I apologize. But we're gonna be doing that on Friday. So no new skills, just a whole bunch of fun. Hoping that you join us, Stephen. Will I see you later in the week, or is this the last?
That depends on many things.
Okay.
I hope so. We'll see.
Cool. Well, if I see you, great. If not, everybody, Stephen and I wish you a great day and hope you stay OSINT curious.
Of course.
Take care, everybody.